Hello, just getting some baseline testing for taking strips of this stuff. 2mm EVA foam sheets. It comes in 15 square foot rolls for around $10 if I remember correctly. How to make it stiff, because as you can see, it's very floppy and wobbly, and you can thermoform it with just about anything that warms up to any appreciable amount. Iron, hairdryer, have fun, just be safe. The problem is that when people make costumes using this stuff, they use 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch foam. It's a lot denser, and so when they fold it and make shapes and curves, it's actually pretty stiff. And then they put some rotocasting resin on it. So instead of doing that, because I don't have the money for rotocasting resin, and I already have 2 rolls of EVA foam in the sheets, EVA rolls. I already have 2 rolls. I'm trying to find a way to make it stiff. So I've done 3 or 4 tests. This is the least stiff, and still not, has it dried? It's actually dried by now. It takes forever to dry. This is toilet paper mud, paper mache mud, which is made by taking toilet paper, putting it in a soda bottle or fuse bottle like this, filling it halfway with water, and then shaking it until it turns into a slurry, straining it out. I used a cold brew coffee bag, and then mixing it with Elmer's glue, PVA glue outside the US, until it's the consistency of peanut butter. Actually, do I have some here that's still that hasn't dried yet? Yeah. That's this stuff. It's known in the paper mache world as paper clay or paper mud. Really cool for shaping, not great for applying in layers. It's hard to get out in a nice even layer. You'll notice this area is thinner than this area. It's thickest right here. So like this is really stiff, but out here it's not so stiff. So not great. I probably will be using that for molding parts and buttons. This instead is toilet paper with PVA glue just laid down as strips, and I think I just cracked it. It's pretty stiff. Like, I'm putting down quite a bit of pressure there. This isn't as stiff, probably just because I just cracked it. Yeah, it's starting to peel off there. It's a bit harder to get to seat properly because it has a tendency to mush up because it's designed to do that. When it gets wet, it turns into a pulp very quickly. So pretty stiff, hard to manufacture, maybe not as durable as I would like. This, as you can see, is notebook paper. Very thin, very hard to get to seat and attach, and actually I managed to rip it just recently in testing it out, so that's really floppy. This over here, it's all very floppy. I would need to put a lot more layers on this, and I don't have the glue nor the paper to do that. This is also probably the most expensive per square foot. What I found to be the best out of what I tested is this, which is paper towel strips. Now, paper towels are designed to get wet and still remain some kind of structural integrity. So I can bend it, but it takes quite a bit to bend it. And some places I really just can't bend it. So it's quite stiff stuff, and if for a larger piece of armor, say a chest plate, because that's the end goal of this, is after doing that, I'll put another layer of glue on the outside, and then put a bunch of polyurethane sealant. Do I have any of that out here? No, it's in the drawers. Put a couple layers of wood polyurethane sealant just to make a nice smooth plastic surface, because polyurethane sealant is polyurethane resin in a solvent. And then when you spray it down, the solvent evaporates, leaving the polyurethane resin as plastic, a thin coat of plastic. So put down a couple layers of that and you have a protective layer. Also be polyurethane the inside so that it maintains it doesn't degrade nearly as fast. And PVA glue isn't waterproof, so I'll need to do that, waterproof it on the inside. Once I've got that, it'll be for a larger piece, for armor. I can take thin strips of this stuff, like not even this thick, maybe just a small amount, and the shear strength of this material is ridiculous. It's quite strong in most dimensions. I mean, tensile and compressive like that. I can stretch this out. I can't do that to the paper towel and PVA glue. Compressively, it's great, and also shear strength, pretty good. It's actually, the shear strength kind of negatively affected by the fact that I've shaped this. So putting crisscrossing strips of this behind to honeycomb it to reinforce a larger piece would probably solve most issues. And this is only 2 applications, 2 complete layers, coverings, using just strips of this and putting down glue over top of it. So just showing that off, I'll be starting to make some of these costume pieces either tonight or tomorrow. Probably starting with the hand plates. This is my previous iteration using expanding polyurethane foam. Stuff's expensive, messy, and wasteful. But my shaping isn't quite right. This should come down out here. It should probably be a little bit longer. This line should be a bit more pronounced, and this should come over a little bit more, and this should come out this way. So shaping needs work, but I should be able to make it out of this stuff, which is, in fact, much thinner if you compare those. So this is quite thin, this not very thin, but this has similar stiffness to this foam. This foam is actually a little bit more stiff than most plastics. So that's all for now. I will be using this until such time as I find that it doesn't work. One last note is that I tried to use cloth. Does not get stiff enough. It doesn't absorb enough material. It's kind of got the same issue as the paper, or this paper, notebook paper. So with that,